Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am back with a single upload and a movie. Finally, a movie after a long time. And yeah, as you guessed from the title, it is Naruto X Percy Jackson crossover. What if Olympians, gods, and demigods reacted to Naruto, the son of kings and queens? Yes, Naruto is going to be the son of all the big three and their queens, respectively. And not only that, there will be a little bit of twist here as well. And yeah, it has a ship, so you don't need to worry about that. So this Naruto is immortal because everything will be explained to the story. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but I'm gonna just say this: he's immortal in the world of demigods as well as gods that will rise to a primordial soon enough. That's a little bit of teaser. You have to find out through the story after reading it. As Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels. And shout out to Spidey for suggesting this idea, in a sense, because he basically wanted me to make a reaction story on DXD and Olympian gods reacting to Naruto. That story was banger, by the way. I will be making that soon. It's just that I rarely have any memories of watching DXD. I watched it last time when the season 4 came out. I remember watching it then, and after that I haven't watched it ever since, because you know how it is. Anyways, I don't have the time to watch it, but if I'm able to find the manga of it, I will read through it, and then who knows, maybe we'll make into a movie again. In the meantime, you have to do with this because I have just read a fan fiction which you guys can read as well. Naruto Son of Queens on fanfiction.net. Just type Naruto Son of Queens as well. I'll put the name of the fanfiction that this story takes inspiration from in the description. And not only that, you can also read its reacting story fanfiction on the fanfiction.net as well, saying Olympian gods, by writing Olympian gods read Naruto Son of Queens. It's a hilarious story. It has like 23 to 24 parts that you can read and enjoy. Anyways, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's movie. Our story begins in USA, New York City. Atop the Empire State Building, up above the clouds, was a hidden home for the gods, especially Greek gods, because their home has been moved from Greek world to that place. As now we go towards the place in which the meetings and council usually seated, as all of the 12 Olympian gods were seated there, as Hestia, one of the older Olympians, was seated next to her hearth near the thrones. As usual, Zeus and Poseidon were arguing over who was the mother's best. And as for Hera, she and Demeter were arguing over, well, whose food was best, Hestia or their mothers. All the while, Athena and Artemis was just watching with bored expression as their siblings, Hermes, Apollo, and Ares, were trying their best to one-up each other, while Hephaestus was the only one who was just tinkering with toys. And as for Aphrodite, well, she was busy correcting herself. That is all until fates arrived, as everyone suddenly tensed, as Zeus then asked, more like demanded, to what do we owe the pleasure of fates visiting our adobe? We are here, King, to deliver this book. This book? It's an alternative dimension in which a child born from the three of you and your queens. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Asked Poseidon, cutting off the fates, as the fates looked at him, as the fates resumed. As it is said, Poseidon, the book states about a child, a mortal child, that three of you with your queens had. How is that even possible? Asked Zeus, as he grumbled a bit. He was happy that he had a son with Hera again, and so was Hera, but she also was quite curious. So you mean to say that Poseidon's wife, Ambrite, as well as Persephone, also were involved in this, alongside with Hades? Yes. And just a little disclaimer before we continue. If I am butchering down the names of the gods, I apologize. I tried my best to learn through Google Translator, and yeah, I can't. It's just hard to get on my tongue. I'm sorry. Anyways, resuming the story, as everyone was left shocked at that, as Apollo the godson then said, with a whistle, now that's something that I would love to read about. As Athena was also quite curious about having a sibling who was immortal. As now we see, Artemis then growled as she rolled her eyes. Great, another mortal. What else? As Hestia then frowned and said, it's not so bad, Artemis. Maybe he will be good. Yes, like so many mortal as well as immortal males are good. Even the Olympians. My brother himself is not good enough. Hey, I am your older brother, little sister, and stop disrespecting me. I helped mother birth you, you buffoon. Enough, said Zeus. So this gives us insight on an alternative reality. But how did the child came to be? I I get it what you're trying to say. I mean, Hera and me, but in mortal world, it will be explained in the story as you progress. But as for the time being, you need to summon Hades and, from your own future, a bit of few heroes. As everyone's eyes widened as a bright light emerged when the fates snapped their finger, and there were some few kids standing there. As Zeus then grumbled and asked, "Who are you, and why are you here?" "Lord Zeus, did you not call for us?" asked a boy with peculiar green eyes. As Poseidon's eyes widened, as Zeus also realized what was going on. "Poseidon, you broke the oath!" As Artemis realized that one of the girls with black hair and lightning blue eyes was also there, as Hera frowned, as she was wearing Artemis' robes, her hunter's robes, indicating something. "Identify yourselves, all of you," said Zeus. "My name is Thalia Grace, and I am daughter of Zeus and lieutenant of Artemis hunters." As Artemis then got up and said, "What happened to Zoe Nightshade?" "I'm sorry, Lady Artemis, but she fell in a battle when the Crooked One and his army arrived." "What?" said Zeus and every other god. As Zeus turned to Apollo, as he then said, "Not cool, Dad. Even if I am the truth god, I cannot reveal this to you." "So not cool," he said, looking towards the demigods. "Sorry about that. Continue on." "Perseus Jackson, son of Poseidon." "Poseidon, you broke the oath!" "Ugh." As Poseidon grumbled and rolled his eyes, "There's a proof that you did as well, you idiot." "Nico D'Angelo, son of Hades." As that is when all should hit the fan. "So Hades broke the oath as well?" said Zeus. "Oh, calm down for once, Zeus," said Poseidon and the others, trying their best to calm him down. And so Persephone as well as Hades were called there out of nowhere by fates. "What am I doing here, brother?" "Yes, I would like to ask you the same. We have called them. Have you not seen us, Zeus, here, summoning them?" Sorry about that. "We know that you don't like your domain to be challenged or your throne. But in this story you will learn how you willingly gave up your throne to your son, who will rise from a mortal to become your successor and unite all of the Olympians and Demigods as one." "What do you mean by that?" As now we see, Fates then said, "Read the book." Oh, and just for you to witness, as orb was dropped by one of the Fates, as it turned into a holographic screen. You can witness the events here. Now enjoy. Oh, and by the way, Ares, Dionysus, if any one of you try to leave, you can't. Not until this is over. Ah, great. Just what I need. Dionysus, the god of wine, said as he looked down at his can of Diet Coke. Curses. He couldn't even drink now. As now we see, the queens also arrived there, especially Amphitrite, the queen of the seas, as she looked towards Poseidon and a particular demigod, as Perseus bowed and introduced himself. Obviously she wasn't happy, but in the end, she didn't obliterate the kid, so that was something, like Hera usually would. As now Zeus then said, "What do you think?" He was quite nervous, and so was the others, especially the older ones, as Athena rolled her eyes and said, "Why don't I read, father?" "Go ahead, daughter." As the book arrived in Athena's hand as she began to read. As the display showed, a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, with 3 whisker marks on each side of his cheek and a toothy grin on his face, as he was 17 years of age, as he was standing in front of all the Olympians, as Zeus, Poseidon, as well as Hades alongside their wives, their queens were looking at him with pride and smile, as they were shocked. "So this is our brother?" said Apollo. He could be passed for one of mine, but oh well. Let's see how he handles." As now we see, Hera felt pride seeing the boy as well, because she didn't want to admit it, but how the boy came to be, she was now curious. "So, is this it?" "No, we just saw the beginning page. Now the story will begin." As that is when the scene shifted to Mount Olympus again. "Hey, look, it's us!" As the king and queen were arguing, as Zeus was in pain and agony because his daughter has been turned into a tree. Ugh, such a not cool experience. As now we see, after that, Zeus decided, because of his wife and brothers, that he needed a break from Olympus and all of this chaos that was happening. He too, as a king, required some relaxation. That is correct. Why didn't I think of that still yet? As Poseidon as well as Hades chuckled at their little brother as he grumbled. Let's continue on, Athena, said Zeus. As now we see, he wasn't the only one thinking as such. Poseidon as well as Hades were also thinking along the same lines. And they knew they just couldn't leave their domains, and only one being could answer their questions. So, unbeknownst to them, they arrived here at separate times, just by mere fate, as it seemed and deemed. And not only that, their wives were also getting fed up with all the hard work that they were putting up, as well as with the constant nagging of their husbands about their brothers. Do we seriously nag that much? Oh, you don't know the end of it, said Zeus, and Hera replied, while the others just agreed with a smirk on their faces, as the other also looked down with slumped shoulders, while the demigods and the younger gods chuckled at that. As now we see, the Fates then played an important role, and a prank of their own, because they too were fed up with how the big three and their wives, which were supposed to be the kings and queens of their domains and of their people, were treating their subjects. So, to punish them, they did send in them into a mortal body, in which they would live a normal life. And not only that, they combined their essence into one male, and as for the other, it could be said for the same, and they all were sent to the eastern region, where they were away from the influence of the Olympians. There they began to grow up, and one became Minato, and the other one became Kushina, the essence of all the kings and the queens. Minato was an office worker and Kushina was a nurse in a hospital, as both of them fell in love when Minato became ill and visited her. So wait, let me get this straight, said Zeus. We all combined and became one mortal named Minato, which is quite a beautiful looking mortal, if I may add, said of every deity. And look at Kushina-chan, she is quite beautiful as well. Yes, she is a waifu material. You do know, dude, that she is kind of, Hera as well as Amphitrite and Persephone all together, right? As Demeter, as well as Zeus and Poseidon and Hades glared at her, get at them. Wait, I was just complimenting. You're treading on thin ice. Really thin, nephew, said Hades. Yes, I realize, uncle. Sorry. I won't speak. As you should, pig, said Artemis. As after that, they continued on with the story. And as the story continued, due to Minato's lines of work, they had to move to America when Kushina and him married. And after their new establishment of their company office there, both of them began to live their lives there. And soon enough, their child, Naruto, was born. When he was born, Kushina died due to childbirth issues and complications. And as for Minato, he began to raise Naruto until he too passed away in a car crash accident when Naruto was just 3 years of age. Which means that the gods and queens, all of them, they had to return back because the deadline was up. And as soon as they did, regaining their immortal conscience, the only thing they worried about was Naruto. Much more ever than was Hera, because she vowed that she will never cheat on Zeus, and yet somehow she ended up doing that. In her thoughts, I would never do that. Yeah, I don't blame you on this one. Even if you cheated on unintentionally, it was with me, I guess. But we were there as well, brother. And so were your wives. As all of them turned green at that moment, but that is when Athena said, well, if it was your essence combined to form that new body, isn't it like, well, all of you, but in a separate way? We're gonna go with that one, said Poseidon, agreeing for the first time with his rival and niece. As now we see, Hestia then said, please continue on. Naruto was placed into the orphanage soon enough. While up in the heavens, Zeus was not pleased as well, because he has realized something, and that was that his son was not a demigod, which it should have been because he was Minato. And same could be said for Persephone, as well as Hades and Amphitrite, as well as Poseidon as well. As that is when fates visited them and informed them of something, that they need to come for answers in a few hours into the council chamber, and they will reveal everything in front of everyone. Obviously, the gods didn't like that, but they knew if they wanted to find any answers to what was going on there, they needed to go to that council meeting. So a council meeting happened where all of the gods and goddesses were present. All the Olympians were there. Great, it shows us finally. Yay, said Dionysus in fake excitement, as everyone rolled their eyes. As the fates appeared, and then they began to talk. Poseidon, Hades, as well as Zeus, Hera, Ambrite, as well as Persephone. The six of you came to us at different times and requested the same thing. But we, too, needed to punish you by the order of the chaos itself, because of what you have been doing is neglecting your duties. So to do that, we sent you in the form of mortals in an eastern region. The meeting between the two of you and all of your essence was close to none, but in the end, defying fate somehow, you were able to meet and bring forth into this world a child that chaos itself wanted to bring here. The child of peace, Naruto Uzumaki. The son of Poseidon, Zeus, Hades, Persephone, Ambrite, and Hera. As everyone was shocked. Wait, said Apollo after gathering his nerves. So you mean to say that he's like the prince of the sea, the underworld, and of the Olympus? Yes, he is. As Zeus was quite shocked and looked towards Hera. But how is this possible? Hera asked. We combined, by the order of chaos, all of your essence into one mortals. The three queens became Kushina, and three kings became Minato, and their son is Minato Namikaze. So that is why he's immortal, said Hades. What do you mean, brother? Said Poseidon. As Hera then said, it means that our powers as Desire Demigod cancelled each other out because of our domains, which made Naruto a mortal, a clear-sighted mortal at best. As fates completed. So you mean to say that I have a child with Zeus? Yes, he is your official child. Same could be said for you, Poseidon, Ambrite, and Hades, and Persephone. And Demeter, please, do not blow that child up. Why would I? I mean, he's kind of my grandson, isn't he? You don't like your other grandkids that much. But because of them being like Hades, that is. As Persephone rolled her eyes. What? Seriously, they are, said Demeter, who was witnessing this. Aha, very funny, sister, said Hades, as Persephone rolled her eyes in real life at her mother, while Nico just glared at his grandmother figure as well. As now we see, Zeus and the others were just silent in the story as this was revealed, while Athena was trying to think of a way, how in the hell did this happen? Even if chaos allowed itself, how did they not realize? Their essence and presence was sealed by the chaos itself, so yes, they couldn't detect one another in the same presence of body. But regardless of that, we left our son behind, said Hera, feeling motherly worry as her maternal instincts kicked in, and she wasn't alone. Persephone as well as Ambrite was in on this. We need to do something for that child. And we don't care if the law applies here, because he is, even if he is immortal, he is our child, both of our child. As Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades looked at one another, and for the first time, they nodded. Yes, we need to. Good, said a voice that was booming, and a being cloaked in dark appeared in front of them. As the pressure was so intense that all of them were fell down to their thrones and on their knees. Who is this? As the fates greeted with a bow. All hail, primordial of void, creator of all, chaos. As these words were enough to send chills down everyone's spine. As even those who were witnessing felt chills run down their spine, as their goosebumps rose, even at their neck. So that is chaos, huh? Yeah. I rather not meet chaos itself, said Apollo as Hermes agreed, and even Ares was nodding at first, because even though he was god of war, he didn't want it to fade. The child has been brought here by me, and I bestow upon him the domains of peace, and peace alone, because he is the being and key to bring forth the peace between you all, and bring you all together, to make you strong, because the crooked one is rising. Since I do not care about what you do, this is the least I can do because of Hestia. That child, even if she has vowed that she will not bring forth a child, I had to bring this child some way. So I chose the three of you and your queens to bring forth this child. Because this way, and only this way, there will be peace between the three of you. As Hestia, who wasn't that much affected by it because Chaos didn't allow, then bowed. Thank you, Chaos-sama. It's alright. As after that, Chaos disappeared as soon as it arrived as well. As Zeus was getting worried, a primordial of Chaos level, even Chaos itself arrived here to tell them that their son is the key to peace and was even being immortal and blessed with his own domain of peace as well. Father, what are we gonna do? Asked Athena. We have to watch over that boy. He is my son after all. All of our son, said Hades and Poseidon, as well as the queen also agreed, as they witnessed and began to watch over Naruto in their own time. As none of the monsters tried to get close to him, and Naruto, he was just the kindest of souls. He was in the Yancy Academy, placed there by the mist and that were the gods doing, and there he met with Percy Jackson. And not only that, Grover, as both of them became Naruto's friends. As even though Percy had a habit of getting into trouble, Naruto was able to keep him out and make him calm somewhat. And Grover, well, he was attracted to Naruto, not in any sexual way, in a way that he brought calm to the storm as it is. As now we see, as this was going on, the gods who were watching this then said, is this even possible? Said Percy, looking at his father. What do you mean? I mean, he's kind of my brother, I understand that, but how is this even working? I mean, isn't it supposed to be that, like, he was supposed to be young here or something? Because Thalia's death, supposed death was mentioned before, as Thalia glared at him, but knew that the seaweed brain has corrected his words. She didn't say anything. Yes, that is what I'm worried about. It is mentioned here on notes that said Athena that fate sent you back in time so that the three of you could sire a child. Naruto is only younger by a few months from young Percy, so yeah, it is after Percy's birth. So he's my younger brother, I guess. Yes, in a sense, I guess. As Thalia and Jason, who were also there, were quite happy that they also had a younger brother. And so was Nico. He just wished that Bianca was here. She died because of hunters, and he hated that, and so did Hades. As now we see, one day, while on a trip, due to Percy's potent scent, they encountered a monster. As Miss Dodd turned into a monster, tried to attack them, but thanks to Mr. Burner being there that threw a pen towards Percy, it was able to turn into a sword. And as for Naruto, well, no weapon was thrown at him, but a spear materialized in his hands as Athena smirked, as Poseidon gawked at this. But the spear had a symbol of chaos on it. It can't be. A weapon blessed by chaos itself. How is this even possible? As after that we see, using that spear, Naruto with a single strike was able to take down the monster. Are you okay, Percy? Yeah, I am fine. Good, we need to get out of here. As after that, they witnessed that everything was as if different. Nobody remembered Miss Dodd. Even Grover didn't. And yet they did. They were sure that she turned into a monster. And everything even went on even weirder when Percy saw that alongside with Naruto that there were three older women who were weaving the fates. It's never good when they see him. Yeah, G-Man was quite worried that I saw them. So much so that he almost began to, like a satyr would say, bah, as everyone began to laugh at that. As now we see, back to the story, Grover also did the same thing as Percy did. And soon after that, they arrived at Sally Jackson's home, where Sally and Grover decided it would be best to take them to the Camp Half-Blood. And after arriving there, a monster tried to attack them, but this time, Naruto defended them, saving Sally Jackson just in a nick of time, but he was injured badly. So much so that the earth began to shake, the sky grumbled, and there were a storm brewing as well, a sea storm brewing as well. The monster was swallowed by earth as a whole, as Naruto blood seeped out. As now we see, soon enough, Naruto was brought in. As the three brothers looked at one another. Ha! So you care about him, the three of them said in unison. What? Of course I would. He's my child after all. The three of them said again in unison, as their wives rolled their eyes. Can we please continue on? Or are you gonna done playing one up each other? Yes. The three of them said in unison again, but glared at one another as the story continued. As now we see, the next morning when Naruto woke up, Percy was nearby him, as he had a smile on his face. And so was Sally. Even if humans were not allowed inside the, well, sphere, she was allowed. Because Naruto aimed to protect her, and since he was the king and queen's child, he was allowed to bring in a friend. Is that even possible? Even we're not allowed to bring in our friends. Well, Percy, he's different, said Poseidon, to appease his child's worries. Yeah, I guess he gets those kind of rights. But I'm glad that he did that for my mother. Said Percy with a smile on his face. As now we see, Naruto grumbled awake as he had a bandage over his head. As Naruto then literally was about to pass out again as he screamed, what is wrong with you, Mr. Burner? Why do you have horse's body over yours? As he began to chuckle, my name is Chiron Naruto, and I am known as the trainer of heroes from the Greek history. You mean the mythology? We're not that much of a myths, kid. And nice to meet you, cousin, said Dionysus, as Chiron narrowed his eyes at that, as Naruto was confused. Cousin? What? I would say that to him, obviously. He's like a brother/cousin, so yeah, I would say that to him. As the other guards glared at him, even if he's unaware. You shouldn't have done that. But that is when something interesting happened. As there was glowing hues on both of the said children that were sitting nearby, as Chiron gasped alongside the other campers, as Percy was the first one to get it. All hail Percy Jackson, son of Poseidon, the Earthshaker, and the King of the Sea. As when Naruto's claiming symbols appeared, they were baffled and confused. All hail the son, not a demigod, but a son of King Zeus and Queen Hera, King Hades and Queen Persephone, and King Poseidon and Queen Aphrodite. As everyone was shocked, he was the son of all the three kings and the queens. What do you mean, not a demigod? Asked Annabeth, daughter of Athena nearby. Always the wise girl, jumping into the question, said Percy, as Athena and Annabeth glared at him as Percy flinched. As now we see, back to the story, that is when something interesting happened. Hermes, the god of messengers, then arrived. Yo, little cousin, how have you been doing? Cousin? What is going on? Who are you people? Is this some sort of cosplay party? Percy, we need to get out of here, man. No, Naruto. It's not what you think. It is real. The Greek gods are all real. The last night you defended me from monsters. Thank you, son, said Sally Jackson as she hugged Naruto, as Naruto then sighed and said, well, at least you're safe. As Percy then said, thanks, Naruto. Oh, and Percy, I will also have to bring you there as well into the council. Dad's orders. Okay, said Naruto and Percy as both of them vanished alongside with Hermes, as now we see the both of them standing in front of the Council of Gods. As Zeus was about to blast at the son of Poseidon, we see Naruto jumped in. Please, don't hurt him. As Zeus somewhat grumbled and looked and placed down his bolt, because he had to listen to his son. He knew and watched over his son's life, and he realized that how much he was best friend with the boy. And because of that, he grumbled inside. Why weren't you not that kind here? Because my son doesn't exist here. Now that I think about it, maybe me and Hera should try. I mean, so far the boy has been nice to everyone, right? Yes, maybe we would, said Hera with a small blush on her face, while the others just groaned at that. As now we see, Naruto witnessed the faces of each and every one of the god. As in his perspective, the sun god was like a cool and way too much glamorous man. And Hermes was, well, just that, a man who looked handsome and yet at the same time quite cunning. And a little bit greedy. Dionysus was, well, not as much as he was in the camp, but it looked like he was tired and drunk. Ares was like a cool old brash dude. And then there was this red haired girl that was seated there with amber eyes. As Naruto gulped and looked away, and then his gaze fell upon two stormy grey eyes that were looking down at him, with a burnt hair as well as with golden hair, brown hair. As Naruto gulped, hi, said Naruto, as he waved tiredly at everyone because he was quite scared of what might happen. That these people, if they are gods, that they might just blast him, like they tried to do to his friend Percy. I mean, him losing himself was okay, but he'll be damned if anything happened to Percy. I mean, what he's gonna say to his mom then? As Percy felt a little bit pride, at the same time sad that Naruto didn't existed here. Seemed like a good friend who was willing to sacrifice himself to others. He shouldn't. What do you mean by that, Pinecone Head? He's also brother of mine and Jason, if you are not that much here, if you have that much of a hearing problem. He's only not your siblings, he's ours as well. And ours. Mine and Bianca, said Nico D'Angelo. As after that, Percy noticed, oh, your son is quite dumb, isn't he? Said Zeus, and as well as Hades, as Poseidon growled at that. While the others chuckled, especially Athena, since she was the rival of Poseidon. As now we see, back at the story, Naruto took a step forward until the primordial chaos arrived itself. Everyone was feeling tense by the pressure, even Perseus was, but Naruto being mortal wasn't because chaos allowed itself, and gave Naruto a hug. So you finally have arrived here, Naruto Uzumaki. I have brought you successfully into this world with the help of the kings and queens. What do you mean by that? Even if you don't remember your past life of the Bronze Age, even if you don't remember anything, I am just glad that I was able to bring you here. I am glad that I am finally able to see you. As now we see, Chaos had an expression of longing on its face before it turned back to its original state. I wish you a happy life in this one, as a promise. As after that, Chaos disappeared. As Naruto was confused. What is going on here? Who was that? Dude, how are you still standing? I don't know, Percy. I don't know anything what is going on anymore. As Apollo then chuckled. Even though the scene was scary, I mean, you gotta hand it to the kid. He is quite dense, isn't he? He's innocent, said Artemis. And that says a lot. As everyone was quite shocked when Artemis said that. As there we see that, in the story, as it continued, Zeus and the others arrived there. As they came to a conclusion that Naruto was special to Chaos. Even if he was their son brought into this world by them, it was at the will and order of Chaos that he was brought here, meaning he was somewhat special. But that didn't bother them. They were finally united with their son, who was, even though a mortal, even though he realized whose son he was, didn't grow cocky like some person Hercules did. As the others frowned at that. Yeah, that Herc is a big jerk, said Apollo, as everyone agreed and chuckled at that. As now we see, Zeus then said, son, it's finally nice to meet you. What? What do you mean? I had parents, but I didn't have 6 parents. Well, the thing is, son, me and my brothers, we combined our essence to become Minato. And me and the other queens combined our essence to become Kushina. As the 3 of them did the same, as 2 figures stood instead of 3 kings and 3 queens, Minato and Kushina. As Naruto's eyes widened, wait, Tojan? Kajan? It's really you! As Naruto dashed and gave them a hug, a tight hug, as Naruto's tears fell down from his face. As nobody said anything, it was just beautiful, as Hestia herself wiped a tear watching this from afar. As everyone looked towards Hestia, as witnessing this scene from the said book, as she blushed and looked away. What? It's a nice scene. Maybe we should invite you later on, sister. Maybe we should try, said Amphitrite. This way we can get a good reaction from Hestia. I mean, she is always mushy about this stuff. As Hestia huffed and pouted at that. As now we see, After that, Naruto family, which was the Olympians, introduced themselves one by one. As Apollo, Hermes, and Ares themselves came there. Even if Ares and Naruto's domains clashed with one another, they had mutual respect for one another. Why? Because Ares respected Naruto. While being a human without any power, he was able to take down a monster, and even stood up against his father to defend his own comrade and friend. In that, in Ares' books, earned him respect. Of course it would. War is won with great comrades and trust. Whoa, that is being said by Ares? Is the world ending or something? No, I try sometimes, said Ares. As after that we see, it was Athena's turn, as she then said, Naruto Uzumaki, you certainly are an interesting boy. It's good to finally meet you, cousin slash brother. Thanks, Athena-sama. At least you have proper manners, it seems. As Naruto ignored the glare of Artemis that was given to him. She was supposed to be the youngest goddess here. Except for Apollo, obviously, because she she helped her mother to give birth to him. Apollo pouted while reading this. As now we see, after the reunion, Naruto and Poseidon's son, Perseus, were about to leap, but Naruto was stopped and halted by Hera. Naruto, wait. Oh, what is it, Mom? Said Naruto as Hera had a smile on her face. As so did Hera, who was reading this, as Zeus witnessed his wife's reaction and had a smile, while Persephone and Amphitrite had a frown on their faces. Why weren't they there? And not even Hades was there as well. As that is when it was seen that Hera then said, something that won the hearts of the others. I'm not only your mom, the others are as well. They will meet you soon enough, son. Yeah, but I gotta give respect to my mothers, right? Of course you would. I taught you right alongside the others after all. Yeah, I guess you did. As after that, Naruto bowed in front of Artemis and the others who were witnessing him, and then, after giving his mother one hug, he left. As Hera's heart melted after witnessing this. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna have a son soon. To hell with this. No, you can't, said Apollo. What do you mean by that? Frowned Hera. I mean, thinking about what Queen said, it might do Olympus good after having a young Olympian here. I mean, it would stop the battle between you and your sister Artemis, who is the youngest here. Now that I think about it, it would. Because he will become the youngest, wouldn't he? Yes, in a sense he would. As now we see, they all began to witness the life of Naruto Uzumaki after ending their argument. As Naruto, after returning to Camp Half-Blood, helped out Percy with his quest. And not only that, he met with his family, his parents, his step-siblings, and found out that he was siblings of Percy slash his best friend. And not only that, he was also brother of the Angelo siblings, who were a little bit older than him while still looking young, which he was quite pissed at because it was quite confusing, as Nico chuckled at that. And not only that, he also met his sister Talia Grace as well as Jason Grace. From after going with Percy on a quest to the Roman camp. They were quite stuck up, but in the end, even the counterparts of the Greeks, they loved Naruto and were soft on him. Wait, what? Hold on, said Apollo as he stood up. My other half is a jerk. And that's a big statement if I say so myself. Yes, our others are quite serious, said Artemis, because she knew how Diana was. As the others agreed to that, as Athena frowned. But they were being nice to Naruto? Well, that was something. As not only that, Naruto did the one thing that Athena wanted to do. He, after requesting the Romans, got the statue back of Athena, which allowed her to restore her power back. And Athena was quite surprised by that. She had given her children a lot of missions of such, but none of them have been successful. Well, I was able to become that. Guess I'm not going to have to go through that again. Worst experience ever. As Athena frowned at her daughter's words, but knew what she was saying was the truth. It was a worst experience, and for Naruto, to being able to do that was something nice. And not only that, he saved Artemis from holding onto the sky and even held onto it while each and every pore of his body was seeping out blood. Witnessing that scene and just hearing about it, they were just shocked and baffled. A mortal holding up a sky. Because of Naruto's sheer willpower, he was able to hold up the sky for more than 10 seconds before Artemis was able to defeat the Titan Atlas and bring him back to his prison, which was to hold up the sky. As now we see, Naruto was beaten badly, but even then, he looked up at everyone to see them that they were okay. Especially his he didn't care anymore, Sister Bianca, because she would have been killed by that attack if it hadn't been for him to take that from her. As Hades' eyes widened, and so did Nico's. So you mean to say he saved Bianca? She's safe. As Nico was happy after hearing that, almost too happy, because the Ghost King never laughed or even smiled, but he sounded excited, happy, and smiled at the same time, which was quite freaky for his friends. As on the other side, we see that Artemis' heart wavered after seeing the youngest Olympian like this, so much so that she picked him up herself and brought him to her camp to be treated. But that didn't stop Hera and the other queens to come together in the form of Kushina and the kings in the form of Minato, and in their all power and glory to arrive there. Their power symbols combine into a new one. And as for the queens, their also power symbols turn into a new one for Kushina and Minato as they arrived there. As Artemis realized who it was. Father? Yes. Artemis, we are here to see our son. We are worried about him. Yes. As Naruto was bandaged up, and thanks to Apollo's healing ability, who was also there, he was able to wake up somewhat as he groaned. Hey, Touchan. Gajan, it's nice to meet you. Thanks, Apollo-sama, for healing me. And Artemis-sama for bringing me here. Don't talk, little cousin. You done well. Not only saved her, you gave her enough chance to fight back. And that is something I owe you for all of the eternity. If you ever need my help, I'll be there, said Apollo, because he knew that his sister had survived an attack that would have ended her. What? Yes, Artemis-sama did survive that, but because of Zoe's sacrifice. She died in taking the attack alongside with Bianca, protecting her while Atlas attacked, giving her enough chance while Percy held on to the sky. Only for 5 seconds, though, before you finished off the job and returned back. I see. As the gods were quite shocked of how this turned out, and Zeus was quite frowning because the son of Poseidon, who was a demigod, had enough strength. But he was also quite admiring his own son's strength, and so were the other gods, because Naruto was able to hold the sky while being immortal for 10 seconds. As that is when we see Naruto was able to do that feat because, unbeknownst to them, Chaos was involved. As now we see Chaos' true form, an Asian man with dark black hair. Because his one eye was covered, it was not visible, while the other one had red glow in it, with 3 black dots turning into irises. As the man smiled, I told you, Naruto. I promised you that I will always be the fire shadow and protect you as well. As now we have a flashback. A young Naruto was seen who was fighting like a mad titan, capable of holding the power of Primordial itself against Sasuke Uchiha after the 4th Great Shinobi War, and Naruto saved Sasuke from darkness as well. And since after then, Naruto and Sasuke have been like brothers because of their unbreakable bond. But fighting against the Otsutsukis, when Boruto and Kabaki took it too far and brought the Otsutsuki gods' wrath upon themselves, Naruto sacrificed himself while saving Sasuke and giving them the chance to save. While Sasuke was able to find the only option to defeat them was to create a new being. And Sasuke, after absorbing Naruto's power as well as absorbing the Otsutsuki god's power, became the new Primordial that erased everything and created a new world. But even then he was not satisfied with it. He knew he had to bring in his friend, and then is when he began to see the future and found the right time to bring forth that friend through the Greek gods. Wait, so you mean to say that our son was basically a rival/friend of the primordial who defeated him as well, but in the end sacrificed himself to give them a fighting chance? As everyone shivered, because if mortals at that time, even before them, held such power, and that power was the one being that held was chaos that arrived there and literally brought them all to knees. Just how much power Naruto will be able to hold. But unluckily, he wasn't able to give Naruto his powers back for more than 10 seconds because his mortal body, who didn't have any chakra wells, couldn't hold it in. As that is why he was in such a bad state, bandaged up completely from head to toe. As after all of them left, we see that Artemis was alone in the room. Why did you help me out, Naruto? You could have died. I helped you out because otherwise you would have gotten hurt, wouldn't you? And I'm sorry to say this, but you are kind of like family to me. Even if you hate me, I guess. Why would I hate you? I have seen your life. I've seen the past. And through Apollo I have seen the future. I have found something that has been quite disturbing, but seeing that if it is you, I am fine with it. Because you has shown me that you are able to protect me. What is it? I'm not going to reveal that to you because now is not the time. But in due time, everything will be falling into order. Wait, said Aphrodite as she couldn't help but giggle, as Artemis had a blush on her face while Apollo was looking at this scene with a jaw drop. Wait, so you mean to say that I'm finally going to be an uncle? Yes! As Artemis looked towards her father and her stepmother, who were both smiling. Take care of him, said both of them in unison, as Poseidon and Aphrodite alongside with Stephanie and Hades said the same. As Artemis blushed darkened and darkened, while Thalia just looked shocked. My lady? You're not gonna... I'm not. I don't know about my other, but I am certainly not. As now we see, Naruto was quite dense at the time, and thanks to that he remained unaware. As the time continued on, Naruto continued to help and got closer to gods, and thanks to his presence being there, a lot of them felt at peace. Because the Crooked One's attack was preserved and the Titans have fallen. And once more the Olympian gods have won thanks to the intervene of chaos itself through Naruto, who has chosen him as its champion. Even still, after all of that, Naruto was still closest to his family. Every night he prayed to all of his parents and all of his siblings and cousins. Why? Because he considered them his family, and they usually at different times visited him. Ares visited him because he was pissed at Naruto because he almost died against a titan. So he trained with Naruto, which Naruto graciously accepted and became his training partner. Well, that's nice, said Ares. As for others, they were quite concerned for Naruto for his sake. As for Aphrodite, she tried to get into his pants first, but Naruto told her that he saw her as a sister figure, and which Aphrodite's affection turned to him as an older sibling. So that was quite shocking for the whole Olympus there as well, alongside her children. Oh my, said Aphrodite. Maybe I did needed a little brother figure, and who knew it would be in his case. I would love to have him as my little brother. I mean, look at him. All the teasing and everything. And not only that, Apollo tried to drag him basically into a club where strippers were, which Naruto basically passed out at the sight of because he was just too innocent. And from then on, after being scalded and literally beaten to death by his sister alongside the queens, and almost faded by the kings, he decided that was not the best of his ideas. Well, Naruto, if anything was, in Hermes' case, was a good prankster. Although he was a little bit shy and timid somewhat type, but he had the heart in the right place. So he was able to prank alongside his children, as well as with him sometimes, and they had the most fun out of it. Naruto also was quite a learner and a quick thinker, in which case he helped out Hephaestus with a lot of his project and his children as well. As Hephaestus then agreed to that. So if the kid helps me out, I guess he's fine by me, in my books, I guess. For the first time I'm agreeing with Crip on this, I guess. Yeah, we all are agreeing, wait, said Apollo with a shocked expression as everyone looked at him in shock and realization. Is this story affecting us or anything? Said Hermes. No, it should not, said Athena. But I must say, the other us, because of his mere presence, are quite happy there. I mean, what if we had that Naruto here? Think of all these complicated matters that he helped us with. Everything would be better. As after that, we see that was not all. Artemis allowed Naruto to, well, sometimes talk with her, and Naruto, even though was in the presence of a man-hater, always was respectful and gave Artemis the best of his abilities, the best responses as he could. And Artemis somehow, in her heart, enjoyed the company that they shared, so much so that even the hunters became quite accepting of it, to the point that they, alongside with Zoe Nightshade, were okay with Naruto being there because they knew whose son he was, and not only that, he wasn't arrogant. If anything, he was more than ever caring, and have cared for their lady and themselves multiple times, saving them as well as being respectful. And not only that, he was way too much innocent. I mean, the incident with Apollo was, if anything, but a reference to that. As Apollo ground, I mean, I literally got beaten to that. Else do you need? And after that, Apollo had never tried to do that. But that didn't stop them from having fun with Hermes, as the three of them went on to do a lot of pranks. And not only that, just hang out and chill and have a good time in general. Now, that is something we can do. It's been a long time since we had a boys' night out. What do you guys say? Well, sign me up for it, said Hermes. As the other said, as Zeus then stopped them. Hold it. Who's gonna watch over your duties and domains? Ah, you're no fun. Yes, it's my job to be. As after that we see Artemis realized that she was getting interested into Naruto, as she even talked about this with the last person she wanted to talk about, Apollo as well as Aphrodite. Both of them at first laughed at her, and then our Aphrodite for once became serious. I consider that boy to be my little brother. So keep in mind, Artemis, if you play with his heart or break it, I will end you and your hunt. I swear it on River Satex. That little boy sees me as an older sister, and I'll do something that not even his mothers are capable of doing. As the threat was looming over again, over Artemis' head like a sword, a heavy sword, because Aphrodite for once wasn't acting like her usual bubbly self. As Aphrodite was looked at with shocked-filled expressions. Whoa, died. I didn't know you were being so serious and all that. Maybe I guess it is my familial love towards the boy that had made me somewhat, you know, possessive over him. I guess. As after that, Artemis blushed. On the other side, Apollo continued. I mean, we do consider him important. And don't forget, he's a champion of chaos itself. And chaos is close to Naruto more than you think. So you better watch and be careful. I have made up my mind. As that is when Chaos appeared itself in front of Artemis. As Chaos then said, so you have chosen my champion, and you are willing to break your oath for that. Yes, I see. For a punishment, and for a test, for breaking your oath and choosing my champion, I will allow this, but on one condition, you have to pass my test. What is it? As after that we see, Artemis was turned into the most ugliest girl, and she was destined to fall in love with Naruto. And so she did, after being brought into the human world under the disguise of a demigod. And even still then, Naruto helped her out. And slowly but surely, both of them began to grow on one another. So much so that Naruto, who was dense in case of Artemis, began to realize that Naruto had feelings for her, because at that time Naruto had grown up to be 20 at least. So he's similar to our age now, huh? He was considered a hero of not only underworld of the seas as well as of the heavens above, the champion of chaos, and the son of kings and queens. And here was this girl known as Ari, who was an unclaimed demigod, an ugly one at that, with disfigured face and body, who became Naruto's friend. Everyone detested her. She could feel the girl's emotion of how, due to the mist, she has been abandoned by her parents at birth, and nobody ever wanted her around because of her features. And yet Naruto was being there, kind, genuinely kind. So much so that after 2 years of being together and best friends, when she was being teased by others, Naruto stood up for her and even made clear that he was her boyfriend at one instance, when a daughter of Ares claimed that he was too good for her, and why is she hovering over him and like hogging over him and whatnot, because Naruto was a heartthrob at the time. So he made it clear that he was only interested in her. As after that we see Ari as well as Naruto alone. Why did you say that? Look at me. I am hideous, Naruto. I don't care. I love you the way you are. I always will. Swear by it. Artemis couldn't handle it anymore. It was clear that Naruto's love for her was pure, more pure than ever, because she didn't possess one thing that every male and immortal or mortal was attracted to: beauty. Everyone at the sight of her just averted their eyes. Even those when she took this form did. Even her own brother and Aphrodite did, because they were disgusted. As now I see, slowly Ari morphed into Artemis, as her hunters came out. Wait, what? Lady Artemis? What is going on here? As you said, Naruto. It was me. It was a test set on me by Chaos, if I am able to win your heart or not. But I didn't even try hard enough, and yet I was able to win you over, because I did not knew how. I see, so in a sense, it was nothing more than a test, said Naruto as he looked heartbroken somewhat, because in a sense it was kind of a betrayal to him. I would never do that, said Artemis, as then she blushed, realizing what she has just said, as everyone else looked at her with a smirk. As this was being said, now back on heavens we see that Artemis was allowed, and Zeus and the other kings and the queens allowed this to happen, and the union came to be, as Aphrodite was smiling at this as well. As on the other side, Naruto was swayed by Apollo, because he then revealed that it was a test set on them. Artemis herself had fallen in love with Naruto before that, but because of her oath, the chaos itself arrived and justified that it was a test to see if she is worthy of him, as Naruto was taken aback by that. So to answer some questions, he that night prayed to Chaos itself. As now we see Chaos appeared in front of Naruto. Chaos-sama, sit down here, Dobe. I'll give you a bit of your memories and insight of what we are, and what our relation is, if you're worried about that. As Naruto's previous life memories was given to him. Wait, Sasuke? Said Naruto, after blinking for a moment. Yes, Dobe, it's me. After you died, giving me your abilities and powers and chakra, I got more than enough time to defeat them. And then, I made this world, and made sure that I fulfilled my promise to bring you back into this world. I brought Hinata already. She is Artemis, after all. What? As everyone got quite shocked at that as well, as Artemis' eyes widened. She brought Hinata-chan here, huh? As that is when it was revealed that Naruto and Hinata had been married in the past, as an image of Artemis's past was shown. As Aphrodite for once was quite jealous, because she had almost looked like a princess, as Apollo also agreed to this. Yep, my little sister is the best. As Artemis wanted to argue, but she couldn't. Why? Because for once she had to agree. That was one beautiful woman in front of them, and that is when she remembered that she was supposed to be her. And right next to him was an older Naruto, and 2 kids. Wait, what happened to the kids? As Naruto then asked the same question, what happened to Boruto and Himawari? I'm sorry. Before I could, the others destroyed the world. I had to destroy the galaxy and rewrite it. Oh. Don't worry, their soul is preserved by me. Soon enough they will be brought into this world. What will happen to Sakura-chan and Sarada? They are still here with me. I saved their souls. Well, Sarada will be reincarnated when Boruto will be. Why? You dope, they're married. Oh yeah, you were dead when that happened. As Naruto was shocked. Wait, what? Yeah, you and Artemis are in a sense grandparents already, but you two died before you could even see that. My daughter died when she was pregnant, and Boruto had to continuously fight Kawaki, who sided with the Otsutsukis in the end. I see. So, in the end, he did betray us, huh? You were only trying to do good to him, because in a sense you saw how you were in a younger age. Yeah, I'm just sad that he wasn't the only one I was able to bring to the good side. Look, you're able to do a lot good here, aren't you not, Dobe? Shut up, Timmy. As everyone was quite shocked and tense because Naruto was speaking to Chaos. Friend or not, he was the one who created him. As to their surprise, Chaos just rolled its eyes. So now, since you're the god of peace and all that, more like primordial of peace, how about I give you the strength that you deserve and need? What? What do you mean by that? Look, Kurama has been with me since then, and he has been half of my strength. And he and I came to a conclusion that you, once reborn, will be given your memories back when the time is right, and you will be made into a new primordial, the son of kings and queens, and the new king of Olympus as well as the other domains. Wait, but oh my god, the paperwork, all that stuff, I can't handle that. Well, that is your trouble. I've been able to do that for so long. Or have you forgotten shadow clones? But I can't use chakra, you idiot. I don't have chakra coils. Wow, the kid has, you gotta admit, balls of steel if he's saying that to Chaos. Well, in a sense, Apollo, he is kind of his best friend or brother. So he has every right to say that to him, like we usually do, said Hermes, as Athena surprisingly found that logical, for once. As now we see, Sasuke just rolled his eyes. I'm Chaos now, not Sasuke. Yeah, whatever you say. I can't believe this. Oh well, Kurama, come out, he's here. As a huge fox with 9 tails and red glowing eyes appeared, and the fox aura was more than enough to cause all of them to just shiver. It's been a long time, Naruto. As Naruto just dashed and gave the fox a hug. Yeah, I get it, you missed me, brat. Kurama was trying to hide his tears, but even he knew that he missed Naruto. And so did Naruto. Stop it, you dumb fox. For the first time, just let me meet my old friend, okay? Yeah, I thought I lost you. I was hiding my essence within your daughter, Himawari. You cheeky brat, you were able to save yourself after all, huh? Of course I was. Yeah, I'm grateful you did. So, Hinata-chan is Himawari. I mean Artemis, huh? Wow, that changes a lot of things. That certainly do. Well, yeah, it does, said Apollo, as he looked towards Artemis, who was blushing. Wait, does this logic apply to us here in this realm as well? As Athena began to flip the books, and to their surprise, it kind of did. Wait, it does? Yes. As Zeus' eyes widened, as suddenly chaos itself appeared in front of them, as the orb began to flicker. You have seen far enough. I won't allow you to see any further. Wait, we haven't finished it. I have made you see what was necessary to be seen. And as for you, Hinata, as Artemis morphed into Hinata herself, as she had a moon crest around her neck in the form of a necklace, you will be meeting Naruto soon. I promise you that. As that is when Kurama appeared from his shadow. As that is when it was getting hard to breathe, even for the immortals, as Zeus for the first time was literally close to passing out. Calm down. But has he to be born by them? I split Naruto's essence into them. His paranoia into Zeus, his calmness into Hades, and his knuckleheadedness into Poseidon, and the other parts of his personality also into you. So it is meant to be. Wait, so you mean to say that we have Naruto's essence into us? Yes. And that will be brought forth once you will become Minato and Kushina. So we have to become that. Yes. Since they are from the future, they will meet him in due time, and so will you. As I'm here only to give Hinata her memories back. And so Hinata was given her memories back of how she was treated and how she was shy, and only Naruto believed in her. As her eyes widened, as her silver eyes, then morphed back into Hinata's until she turned back to Artemis. Naruto-kun, she said with tears in her eyes and longing. I guess I can wait a few more years. Thanks, Hinata. Thanks, Sasuke-kun. Yeah. But what about Sakura? And don't worry, Hinata-chan, I am here. As Sakura came out with pink hair and pink eyes. What is she? She is the galaxy. I created her into the galaxy itself. As everyone's eyes widened. What? Yes, of course, I have to. Naruto is gonna so hold that one over you, creating his power, wipe the all-powerful. Yeah, I guess, but we'll see in the future. As after that, Chaos snapped his finger and looked at them. Beware, if you stop him into coming into existence, I'll just wipe you all out. Don't worry, Hinata. Not you, at least. As after that, the gods were left there, while the others, as after Chaos left with his wife, we see that the gods and demigods were the only ones left. Before demigods too disappeared, as gods were left to think, what should we do? As Sasuke-kun said, we have to bring forth my husband now, won't we? I guess in a sense. So, are you still the older twin? Or am I? I guess you can be the older twin. I'm fine with that. Wait, what happened to you? Why are you so calm? I guess after having Hinata's memories, I'm finally able to become whole in a sense. I always felt as if something was off. Something was being kept from me. But now I know what it is. I'll be waiting for him. As Thalia was taken aback by that, and really hoped that this Naruto would come here and change everything for the best, and save good for her for the other demigods as well as for the Olympians. They really wished that Naruto would come to be, and now their wish was coming true. Even though it was a little bit shocking that the truth was revealed to them, but they were happy with that. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my other channel as well, Mayta. I'll see you in the next one. This is it for the time being. Bye bye. Peace.